Well, this is the new Convergence. I get this is my second one, but third airframe. If you look back over my videos, first time I flew it in plane mode, and when I went back to land, I had to go back into multi-rotor mode. And as soon as I went into multi-rotor mode, it went straight nose down into the ground, breaking a wing, breaking the front end. So they replaced the airframe. The second time, I actually have that on video. I will admit I didn't do my usual steps where I check everything first. I immediately put it up into the air, and usually I have a checklist that I go through. I check everything, make sure everything's working first, and then I'll fly. But again, when I went into airplane mode, I went to yaw around, and it just the rear propeller came on, and the elevators went full down like this, causing it to go straight into the ground. And I've also noticed, I was curious if they had changed anything inside, and oh, damn. In fact, they have. Not only in, I'll get to what just happened. Nothing bad just happened. I'll get to that. I had an AR-610 in mind. Well, that's a plug and play. They sent me a bind and fly. So I got the FPV Racing Series receiver, 3.3 volt auto bind. So now I can use my AR-610 receiver for something else, and I have a Super Tiger engine that I'm getting a Great Plains Escapade, so that'll give me an extra receiver. I already had an AR-9000, but I wouldn't really want to use the AR-9000 in that plane because I don't need 9 channels. So yeah, now I have a extra receiver. Everybody that I've spoken to said they have no problems with these. I guess I just got one that had problems. And another thing that I noticed was when I got mine, there was nothing on the rotors at all. I mean on the motors. Nothing. Well, now instead of actually take it off and show. Now instead of having this on here with a grub screw holding it on, now it's collets. I don't know if that's what it originally came with, but I don't remember. That is what it came with, because I remember taking it off propellers and this part would not come off. Maybe possibly they had problems with the propellers falling off because the grub screw wasn't holding on. I don't know, honestly. I never looked that in depth, but now to put on your propeller, you do that and you tighten down the collet. This is what I'm more familiar with. This is what I had on my Delta Ray instead of because I put on much better motors, but because they were faster, the whole airframe would flutter, and that's not good. So I could never go 100% throttle because the whole airframe would just flutter. So now on this, instead of anything else, and I can tighten this down a lot tighter, because now collets are being used instead of a grub screw, and all I have to do is make sure these are tight every flight, and I don't have to worry about propellers falling off. Other than that, everything else looks exactly the same. Still the EC3 connector, which I will change to a XT60. Didn't they say they were going to give me some XT60 connectors? Oh, okay. Well, I have extra XT60 connectors. So I'll change that out to an XT60 connector because I prefer those over these. These just can't move the current like an XT60 can. And now I have a brand new flight controller, brand new airframe, brand new everything, and the latest edition. And the funny thing is, right now you cannot buy one of these. And also, the only reason I'm doing a video out here in my living room is because right now my RC room is such a mess. I need to clean it up. I have so much new stuff that I've gotten. I've got to rearrange and organize things, and I'll be getting to that either this evening, which today's Saturday, or tomorrow. But it's really nice that not only did they replace it, they replaced it with a bind and fly, not a plug and play. Maybe they were thinking maybe it was your receiver or something. Well, now I will know for sure. But the only thing I don't like about that is I can't add my glitch buster, my brownout, the capacitor that plugs into the receiver. So I'm going to, amperage is going to be drawn the most when it's in multi-rotor mode, because that's when all motors are going, and that's when it's actually having to carry all the weight of the airplane instead of just having to pull it through the air. It's actually having to hold the airplane up. And you got 3 motors going. You got the two, I believe they're 1450 if I remember, 2110 Outrunner 1450 kV. The one in the rear, the 2730 1550. So the motor in the rear is actually 100 kV faster, and I assume that's because there's only one compared to 2. I've already gone over some of this, and even the rear uses the collet now. They probably use collets all along, I just never even looked. But yeah, now I have, I guess, sort of a version 2 of this plane, because if they didn't have collets originally, now they have collets. And I didn't have to lay the stickers again, which honestly, that's probably the hardest thing. Changing over the parts, that's very simple. All it is moving the servos and the motors, and moving the motor and the ESCs and the motor in the back. I mean, that's not hard at all. But putting these stickers on, they're so large and they're cut in the center, and there's so many different pieces, you gotta line them up just right. So that's nice. But it was also fun learning how to do it. And also, the ailerons are different. The ailerons don't use tape anymore. The last ailerons actually use a piece of tape. And I can show that on my other, I'm not going to get my other airframe that's been broken, but I'm pretty sure it used a piece of tape. But this is actually connected completely. I can't tell if that's plastic or fiberglass or styrofoam that's just been pinched down, so you can have a control surface that's, yeah, that's styrofoam. A control surface that's held on by more than just tape. It's actually completely held on there. So that's the new convergence that I got today. And my good friend actually, he was coming over from, it got delivered to my grandmother's house. And he lives in that town. And he was coming over to hang out with me for a little while. And he said, well, if you want, I can go ahead and pick it up for you. So that saved me a trip into town, which I really don't like that town, especially with all the crime and stuff that's been happening. And my friend, I've known him since I was, I'm not going to get into details about him, but I've known him since I was about 12 or 13 years old. And We haven't hung out for about 10 years. So it was really good hanging out with him, catching up, and next weekend we'll be hanging out again. But that's not, this video is not about that. But just the new conversions, I can't wait to get it up in the air. And I've honestly missed it. I haven't flown one, and wow, I had the crash back in the end of April. I mean the end of February. So it's been a month. A little over a month, I actually believe. I think it was, I can look at the date on the video, because I uploaded that video immediately as soon as I got home, after I got done speaking to Horizon Hobby, and they told me to send it in. But I will say this, it wasn't them being slow, I was slow. I waited about 3 weeks to send it in. As soon as they got it, they got it on a Friday. Tuesday, I was notified that I was getting a new plane, and they were sending back my receiver. And then I ended up with the new plane Saturday, so that would be 10 days from me sending it in. I had a new plane. So now I get to go have fun with this one, and I will definitely be doing videos. The very first flights, I will be doing videos, just to make sure with my GoPro that nothing goes wrong. I know how to fly. If I didn't know how to fly, I wouldn't be putting money into it. I mean, I've had planes before. This one's just different because it transitions in midair. Well, this is pretty much it. I'm gonna put this screw in real quick, and that's it for this video. I just thought I'd go over some of the things that I thought were pretty cool about it. I don't know if they originally had collets on them, but now they do for sure. They probably did. I just really didn't look all that detail onto it. So, thank you for watching. Peace.